Hello and welcome to my channel J&DS Creates. Today, let's talk about the Midnight Gospel. Now, if you're here because of the title, don't panic. I will explain myself soon enough. So let's get to it. When I heard Pendleton Ward was making a new cartoon, I got really excited. And for those of you who may not know who Pendleton Ward is, he is the creator of the animated series Adventure Time. He has worked with Rick and Morty co-creator Justin Roiland and countless others. So when I heard he was making an adult themes show, I could not contain my excitement. I'm going to stop here and warn you that the following content may contain spoilers. So when the episodes came out May 20th, I started watching without any idea about what to expect. And oh my goodness, I was not expecting anything that had happened. It was a strange and wonderful experience that left me confused and wanting more. Now, to be honest, I have not finished the series yet. I've only watched a couple of episodes, but I do plan on finishing this season. So when I finally got to sit down and watch, I was expecting a plot and your standard story structure. And it's an interview, and the things being talked about in the interview seemingly didn't match up with what was happening in the world around them. And it really threw me off. I wanted there to be a plot line and all these other things, and it wasn't that. I'm not saying that is a bad thing. It just really caught me off guard. It wasn't what I expected at all. And then the climax of the first episode brought it all together, and the whole interview and everything that was going on in the background that seemingly didn't connect with the interview clicked in a way where it was like a big epiphany for me, and I was hooked. Into the second episode, you got hints of the main character's real life, and that's where the show has me super curious. I want to know more about Clancy and his real reality, and not just visit these simulation worlds. Even though the interview topics have been very interesting, coupled with the amazing background storytelling that's happening, I still yearn for the character development and plot. And I guess I will have to watch more and see if that starts to happen. I want to take a moment to talk about the art in this show. So far from the colors to the art style, this show is pure eye candy. Every second I was watching, I was drinking in as much as possible. I could not get enough. I could not get enough of this art, and I see myself buying an art of book for this show or watching it over and over just for the artwork. I want to talk a little bit about Pendleton Ward and his inspiration for this show, and why it's not a cartoon, but rather its own new beast. Pendleton had been inspired by podcast creator Duncan Trussel and began pursuing the idea to turn Duncan's podcast into animations, something that I'm not sure has been done before. And as someone who doesn't listen to podcasts, I'm very glad he had this idea. And from the content being presented in the Midnight Gospel, I couldn't be more excited to continue to see Duncan's podcast literally come to life and be expressed in the way it is. The topics, coupled with the stunning background storytelling put together seamlessly, is groundbreaking in my mind, and I can't wait to finish watching. If you are curious about the materials and process of making this painting, I'm going to take some time to talk about that. The materials I used to make this are Arches 100% cotton, 140 pound cold press paper, watercolors from multiple brands such as Daniel Smith, Da Vinci, Winsor & Newton, and Selenier, so like all the brands. I also used a Micron pen, and my watercolor palette is handmade by me. When I decided to make this video, I started off making rough sketches based off of screenshots from the show. I sketched them out in a book to get a feel for what I wanted, then got to work drawing that on my artist paper. At this point, I wasn't sure what I wanted to be in Clancy's monitor. I knew I wanted to do a crossover, but wasn't sure of the subject till much later. Originally, I had Finn and Jake from Adventure Time, but decided to choose something more fitting to the theme of the Midnight Gospel, so I chose Glob. The painting itself took a long time, almost as long as some of my more realistic paintings. I had about 2 hours of film to cut and trim. If you've made it this far, I would like to say thank you for watching this video. If you have been watching the Midnight Gospel, let me know what you think about it in the comments, and I personally get the feeling that this may become a cult classic. If you enjoyed my video and would like to see more content by me, don't hesitate, act now, and click that like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time.